in this victory over the Houston Rockets. This was a game in which left much to be desired most of the game. The Bulls were down most of that game. They took the lead back in the fourth quarter after not having the lead since the opening minute of the game. All the big three showed up in a major way in this game. Zach LaVine leads the way again with 36 points. DeMar DeRozan also chips in 27, and Vooch has 18 and 11 in a game that was important for the Bulls as they continue trying to march to that play-in spot. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it all down. We're going to have some fun. You guys know how we do on the post-game show, but first, we got to play that winning intro, though. Let's get it.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
All right, the Chicago Bulls take care of business in a game that I know on paper the Bulls should have absolutely won this game. They should have won this game by double digits. But if you guys watch this game, this was a tough game for the Bulls. The Bulls were down the majority of this game. They took the lead down a couple of times in the second quarter. They did it again in the third quarter, and the Houston Rockets just kept marching back every single time the Chicago Bulls got a lead. But the difference that the Bulls made in this game, the defense, and Patrick Beverley was a huge part of sparking the Bulls team to this victory. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, they're going to get their lion's share of the credit. But let's talk about Pat Bev to start off this post-game show. 6 for 7 was Pat Bev in this game. 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 16 points. He had the highest plus-minus of any player, and that just shows the impact that Pat Bev had. People asked in the halftime hangout and in the pregame show, are the Bulls going to keep Patrick Beverley? And when you have a player that's playing like this, that's sparking wins, that's being the edge that the team was missing so much this season, there's a high probability of that. But tonight, Pat Bev just played the way that he needed to play, and he was the spark. But let's also talk about the big night from Zach LaVine. He goes 14 of 26 from the field, 36 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers. We need to get that down some. And he has a positive plus-minus of +10. Zach LaVine played a great game today. They got him in rhythm. There were times where he just hit big shots. He kept this Bulls team from it being an even bigger deficit than what it was the majority of the game. And DeMar DeRozan also coming on big for the Chicago Bulls. Not shooting the best tonight. He was 9 of 21, but he still chips in 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 27 points. And then Mr. Reliable himself, Nikola Vucevic, 7 of 15 with 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Just stuff in the stat sheet. Patrick Williams didn't have the offensive game that I would have wanted to see from Patrick Williams this game. He played some solid defense. Only 23 minutes from him, but this is a game in which I can understand why he was not on the court in crunch time, because Alex Caruso and Pat Bev just had it going. But Patrick Williams with only 3 points in this game. Andre Drummond, though, with the big game, 11 points in 14 minutes off the bench, 5 rebounds as well for him. He has the majority of he had 11 points. The bench as a whole only scored 17 points. So that just showed you what Andre Drummond brought to the game today. The Chicago Bulls shooting over 51% from the field, 25 assists on 44 made baskets. That's over half their buckets were assisted on. That's what we need from this team. The Chicago Bulls also having 13 offensive rebounds, and 5 of those alone coming from Patrick Beverley. That is how he dictated this game and helped the Bulls just bring the energy, get extra possessions. 13 offensive rebounds, and 5 of those coming from your starting point guard. That's huge. 6'2", 180 pounds is Pat Bev, and sometimes we forget that with the way that he plays. And he balled out today. He was a big part of the Bulls win today. We also had 7 steals in this game. We had 14 turnovers. We still had less turnovers than the Houston Rockets. And this was a game where the Bulls matched the Houston Rockets three-point shooting. The Houston Rockets were 16 of 34 for 47%. The Chicago Bulls were 15 of 32 for 46%. And usually, if this was going to be a game, or how the Bulls usually are, when they have only like 6, 9 of three-pointers as a team, we would have lost this game handedly, right? But again, as I've been talking about, the simple math, 3 is more than 2. The Chicago Bulls and DeMar DeRozan took 3 3-pointers and made 2 of them in this game, did DeMar DeRozan, which is crazy. But we had the 3-point shooting that we need. We had the offensive rebounding that we need. We shared the ball. We didn't necessarily take care of the ball the way that I would have liked us to. But again, the Bulls did the things that we needed to see from this team. They did the things that separated us in this game. And now we are back in the 10th spot in the play-in race, and the Bulls have to just keep playing like this. And this has been, when I've talked about and say that, I have my doubts about the Bulls being able to make the play-in, is because they're going to need to play with this heart night in and night out. And they have just not shown over the season the ability to keep the foot on the gas for that extended amount of time. But hey, the Bulls took care of it today. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're on a 2-game winning streak. Every other team in the play-in right now is on a losing streak. So this is the time where the Bulls can make their move, and they need to make their move. So let's see what this team can do down the stretch. Let's see if they can keep up the good vibes and the good and just everything going on. But this team is playing like a different team. You can tell it, you can feel it, you can feel the energy. This would have been a game earlier in the season that the Bulls would have got down on themselves and it would have took them out the game. They did not do that this game. They stayed with it. They answered every run that the Houston Rockets ran and kept that game close. And then eventually came in the fourth quarter. They just executed better on both sides of the ball than the Houston Rockets did in the fourth quarter of this game. And that's why the Bulls won this game. Great game from Zach LaVine. Good game from Nikola Vucevic. Good game from DeMar DeRozan to just get what we needed down the stretch, playing together, sharing the ball. But Pat Bev is probably the MVP of this game. And I know that's crazy when Zach LaVine scores 20 more points than Pat Bev, but Pat Bev is definitely the MVP of this game for me, just in the way that he played, the way that he executed. I loved every single bit of it, and that's what we need from this team. So let's go ahead and get into you guys' comments. We're going to go into the chat now, see how you guys feel about this win. This Bulls getting a dub, which we needed, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go. The defense locked in right when it needed to. Absolutely, bro. Atalo in the building says Steph Bev 4 for 5. That's funny. Pat Bev 4 for 5. That's crazy. Melvin says frustrating ass win. Good, terrific defense the last 5 minutes, though. Yes, they kicked it in that defensive intensity in the last 5 minutes of the game, and we needed it. Austin G says we won against a terrible team. Pinch me, I'm driven. And listen, I'm just glad the Bulls took care of business, brother. When Debo took that 3, I started to scream, "What are you doing?" But mid-sentence, he hit it and shut me up. That's from Illusional. Hey, man, I was right there with you, bro. Basically the same exact thing. Same exact thing. That was an ugly game. Yeah, that's. Hey, but listen, we got the win. We haven't won a lot of ugly games this season. So if the Bulls can continue to do this, we'll see what that means for them in their play-in race, right? Melvin, I like Vooch stepping up in the third quarter. Hey, Vooch, I will say this. Vooch hit some key threes in the game as well when we needed some threes. This was an overall very solid game from Nikola Vucevic. There was a little questionable. That first half, I won't lie, that first half left a lot to be desired when it came from the Chicago Bulls and the way they played in that first half of that game. But they turned basically all that around, and they turned it into a win. And that's what we needed from this team. So shout out to them. Silencer says, yo, Haize, how you feel about tonight? I think I already said it with my opening intro, man. I'm happy that the Bulls got it done, man. Evan Lick in the building says, I would say worst win of the season, but the Pistons game did happen. Yeah, that's a fact. That is definitely a fact there, bro. Melvin says, Pat Bev earned his stay next season. Oh, absolutely did that. Absolutely did that. Livewire Sports in the building. What's going on, fam? Glad to have you back in the building. Cannon Peacock, great win, the Pat Bev effect. It's just the team playing well, man. Playing as a team, not letting it get away from them. DeMar DeRozan is starting to piss me off, man, because Nikola Vucevic was the person that you should have going too early in this game, and he started going one-on-one. Listen, it is what it is, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong. It is what it is, though. Patrick Williams, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu combined for 6 points and 0 rebounds. That cannot happen. Well, it can happen, and it did happen, and luckily the Bulls were able to overcome it. But yeah, we definitely need more production from the role players overall. This was a night where, listen, it was a tough night from the bench if it wasn't for Andre Drummond. Zachary Grima says that shit was clearly out of Sengun. What were the refs watching? Man, listen, I think, keep in mind that the original call was that it was out on the Bulls. So if they don't make a conclusive decision based off the replay, then they have to go with that original decision. Now, do I think it should have been out on Sengun? Yes, but I'm also a Bulls fan, and maybe I'm a little bit jaded by that. But listen, if we wouldn't have won this game, that would have become the story, right? But luckily, we took care of business. Bulls Daily says too close for comfort, but I'll take it. Listen, a win is a win. At this point, we just need wins. It don't matter how it's going to get there. Damien says, sup, Haize, missed y'all in the pregame and halftime. Was on the phone for a while. Hey, bro, it is what it is. We're glad to have you in the building. Hopefully you got to see the Bulls win. Play of the game, Pat Bev, his defense, his offensive rebounding, his hustle, and timely three-point shots. That is absolutely on point from Brandon L. Jett there. We do not win this game without Bev. Zach having to play 43 minutes tonight is a problem. We have to be able to put teams away. Well, I mean, you have to be in the lead to put teams away, right? The Bulls were fighting back all this game. And yeah, that presents its own problem. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that isn't a problem, but yeah, I mean, it's hard. We weren't in a position to put them away. And then when we were in a position to put them away, we did it handedly. Like once the Bulls got that 4-point lead, we didn't look back at that point. And you could tell that the Bulls players had a level of confidence about them leading into that and after that they just weren't going to give up the game. After the Bulls got that 4-point lead in the fourth quarter, I, for once, wasn't worried anymore. I literally was like, oh, the Bulls got this because of the energy that they had, right? The energy and how Pat Bev was playing, man. So, yeah, that's how I feel on that one. Tony says, sad seeing every young team have better young talent than we do. I mean, but the thing is that those young players, they have to play, right? They have to take shots. So it's built up their confidence. I think for example, when we drafted P. Will, we drafted him and we were just a terrible team and he was able to get 16 shots tonight regardless, I think Patrick Williams would be in a completely different spot right now. But he came to a team, he was in a rookie year that made a trade midseason, and then his second year he got hurt, but that team already had expectations and made a whole bunch of trades. But I do think that if Patrick Williams was in that position, and Dalen Terry, for example, too, we'd be seeing completely different. The fact that this team is trying to make a playing spot has definitely taken away some of that from the young players. So Shay says, Haize, you notice that Patrick Beverley is starting to make Zach LaVine a better player all around because he's starting to take much more better shots. Well, he's not making him a better player, but he is helping put him in better situations. That's what your point guard's supposed to do. And Pat Bev is helping that with everyone. Like we've been a much more efficient offense with Pat Bev running it. Our bench sucked ass this game. Drummond got a pass, though. That's funny. Yeah, Drummond gets the pass. He's the only one that gets the pass. Chat, thank y'all for letting Haize hit 11K. Hit that like button. Yeah, man. Thank you to everyone for us hitting 11K. We just keep hitting the numbers here, man, and I appreciate that. We're steady growing. We haven't stopped growing at all, and I appreciate you guys for that, man. We're on a road to 20K, I guess is what we're going to call it. It's going to be a minute before we're there, but road to 20K. 20K, here we come. J Max says, Pat Bev told him this is how good luck, good gut check win. Yes, man. Yes, love seeing that from Pat Bev. He is the energy that we needed on this team. Zach LaVine been on a tear. Zach LaVine is playing like this is max level Zach LaVine type play, and that's what we need him to play to start off next season and to end this season. Yes, sir. Haize, Bulls back in the play-in 10 place. Yes, we're back in the 10 spot for the play-in race. Bench was awful outside of Drummond, and Rockets could not miss in the third. Bulls pull it off. Hey, how many times have we been able to say the Bulls pull out a gut check win, right? And I know it sucks. It sucks that we can probably count on one hand how many times we've done it, but we're doing it now, and let's hope that we can keep it going on from now until the end of the season. Damien says, it helps when Houston is one of the teams that blows leads over 10 points in the second half. Can't overlook that. Yeah, but you can't overlook that the Bulls are also one of those teams, right? Let's be clear. The Bulls are absolutely one of those teams themselves. So yeah, it is what it is. But our defense ratcheted up in the fourth quarter, and we needed it. So happy for the Bulls. Prove them haters wrong. What's good, Haize? What's going on, Jello? Glad to have you in the building. Matt, hey, Mingo with the super chat. What's going on, Mingo? Glad to have you in the building. He says, Pat Bev says, what the F you talking about? Absolutely. Pat Bev came in here and made the difference today. Definitely MVP of the game for me. Michael Galileo says, on fast break, Zach DeMar need to stop passing the ball at the very end. Passing the ball early keeps the defense more honest and off kilter. I mean, regardless of when you pass the ball, it's just making the right pass, making the smart pass, making a crisp pass, making sure you put the pass in the place where your player could get it. I think there is a spot for late passes to help catch defenses off guard, but we don't execute those always the best. But I definitely feel and agree where you're coming from as well. Hokage Obama says Patrick Beverley masterclass performance. He showed every bit of what he has, man. Haize, do we know why Drum went into the locker room for a bit there in the second? I think he twisted his ankle. I heard Stacey King say something about it. I don't remember what it was because he came back. So hopefully nothing too bad there. Probably just rolled an ankle or something, if I had to imagine. So Lance Parker says those back-to-back upcoming games against Philly next week are going to be huge. Yeah, I mean, I said it. The schedule from now basically until the end of March isn't the easiest schedule in the world. We got this game with Houston out the way. We have Sacramento, Minnesota, Miami, 2 games against Philly, Portland, and the Lakers, and the Clippers, and the Lakers again, and Charlotte Hornets. That's our schedule left to end March. And keep in mind, we only play till April 9th. Most of those games are against playoff or play-in teams. So the Bulls and I've said it before, like I have my doubts on the Bulls' ability to make the play-in. But if the Bulls do make the play-in, they would have had to play such good basketball against playoff teams that I think they'd be prime and in a great position in that play-in tournament if they do make it there, because they got a difficult schedule coming up. So let's see how they do. You were right. This is from Tony. You were right, Haize. Zach has low IQ passing up an easy layup for a missed three-pointer, but all kidding aside, that DeMar bad alley-oop cost him a 40-piece, but that's just my Zach fandom talking. I mean, no, Zach, we know Zach's basketball IQ is not the best, right? But that doesn't mean everything is his fault. There were a couple of times where the turnover was technically on him, but it's because he touched it last, and it was just bad passes. And that missed alley-oop, man, that was going to be nasty, bro. That was going to be nasty. Quiet first 3 quarters, but we started firing on all cylinders in the fourth, defensively and offensively. Now the real battle starts in holding our play-in spot or continue to rise the ladders. That's from Caesar. Completely agree with you, bro. Like this is the difficult stretch for the Bulls. I just went over the schedule. Next week and the week after specifically, you're going to be tough games for the Bulls. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, we got Sacramento, Minnesota, and Miami. All playoff or play-in teams. That's not going to be easy. And then next week we start off with 2 games against Philly on Monday and Wednesday. That's going to be difficult as well. So, like the Bulls, this next stretch, if the Bulls can come out of these next, these next 6 games, if they can come out 3-3 at the minimum, but if they can come out of those games 4-2, the Bulls are going to be in perfect position to actually make a play-in spot. But they have to go either split it 3-3 over the next 6 games, or ideally 4-2 over those next 6 games. If the Bulls can do that, I may be more confident on their ability to make the play-in. So let's see. DJ Lovelay says, why is Pat Beverley getting more rebounds than Patrick Williams is terrible at his size? Well, you got to actually watch the game. There are a lot of long rebounds that he came to, and Pat Bev came in there and fought, and like he stole some rebounds for some people. So it was a completely different type of game. And keep in mind, I tell you guys all the time too, Patrick Williams is not going to be in position to get a lot of rebounds because of where he is on the court and how Billy Donovan uses him specifically on the offensive side of the ball. But it kind of is what it is. Patrick Beverley followed up not only his shots, but other people's shots. A lot of players in the NBA don't follow up shots. DeMar has to keep shooting threes, in my opinion. He is way more than capable of making them, and it keeps the defense honest and not so predictable. I mean, you got more faith than I do on DeMar DeRozan's ability to hit a three-point shot, but I will say this. He took care of business tonight from the three-point line. So Shay says, I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but Patrick Williams has to get back in the starting lineup. I love Allah. You love Allah? We're not talking about religion there, bro. I guess you meant Caruso. Allah school. Okay, yeah, you definitely meant Alice Caruso. But some of these matchups, he definitely gets killed by the larger players, I guess is what you mean. Yeah, and it definitely happens. But, hey, this is Billy Donovan's new great toy with this lineup, and I don't think he's necessarily going to move off of it. All right, Zachary, I'm letting you know right now. Leave that same comment again. I'm going to have to make you sit down, bro. I hope we can go into 10-15 to end the year and put us at 500. I think we can do it. Just need to lock in. That's a tall test, bro. But, I mean, where do things have happened? Kofu in the building says, what up, Haize? Still at work, but looks like I tuned in at the right time. Sounded like a home come from behind win. Helps develop winning mentality. Absolutely. Completely agree with you there, brother. Completely agree with you. Omar in the building says, that's what I call a heart good win, fellas. Can't wait till they come out here in Dallas because I'm finna see Red National let loose in the American Airlines Arena, and can't no Mavs fan do nothing about it. That's hilarious, bro. That is funny. I can't wait to hear Pat's take on Locked on Bulls about Pat's play tonight, as well as how Pat played tonight. Well, we don't do Locked on Bulls on weekends, so you will not be getting a Locked on Bulls tonight, brother. This is a young, inexperienced team that the Bulls should feast off, especially on the inside. Houston had no rim protection, and the Bulls need to get the ball inside to Vooch more and Drummond. Well, listen, bro. Like at some point, Black Prophet, let's take the win, bro. Like I get the critical thinking, and I appreciate the critical thinking. We need more critical thinkers, but at the end of the day, the Bulls got the dub, man. The Bulls got the dub. And Sengun definitely gives Vooch some trouble. Like, let's be clear there. Also, I feel like this was low-key a really, really good win. The Rockets played out of their minds offensively and couldn't miss, and the Bulls, still found a way to dig deep and win on the road. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Matthew says, my mom literally said Patrick Beverley is an animal. I would hate him if he wasn't on our team. That's the exact type of player that Pat Bev is. You love him when he's on your team. You hate him when he's not. DeMar is so 50-50 for this team. It's crazy. He either's helping us or pulling us down. I was a little bothered by some of his shots in the fourth. Mixed feelings about him, but you got to love him when he's on. Yep, that's great way to phrase that there, brother. L in the building says, yeah, win. We are knocking these tough teams out. If we can overcome these Rockets, the sky's the limit. Here goes L with his pessimistic ass, bro. I swear, it's the light-skinned people are so pessimistic this year. No, I'm just playing. L's my dude, man. I understand completely. Darius says, I'm going to say this now. Our defense is on the cusp of elite, but please, God, can we get the offense to play up to par? We could easily be a 6 seed. I mean, they're going to have to change the way that they do some things. They're definitely going to have to change the way that they do a lot of shit. So we'll see. We'll see. In the offseason, they got some things that they need to address. That just is what it is, man. Malcolm says, Haize, do we beat Sacramento, and what would it take to beat them from your perspective? The same thing that it takes for this Bulls team every day. Defense, efficiency from the offensive, from shooting offensively, limit turnovers, and get rebounds. That's the Bulls right now. Where they are is just simple, right? They have to play with heart. All the heart areas, they play and do those things well, they can win against any team. We just got to see if they're going to actually do it. DMG in the building says Max Levine came to play again, and Steph Bev shooting them threes. Also, I hope AC is okay. He rolled his ankle running into the cameraman. Yeah, he did, but I think he stayed on the court. I think AC is going to be okay. You know, AC is always at a stage of being banged up, so it is what it is, man. Yoselin in the building says the way this team has been playing lately is making me a lot more excited to next Saturday's game against the Heat. Hey, next Saturday's game against the Heat is about to be litty. So yeah, let's hope the Bulls keep it going, man. Levine is a keeper. Haize, if the Bulls make the playoff and by a miracle make a deep push, how will the offseason look in your opinion? That's from Hovind. It doesn't change anything. I've been saying this before. There's nothing the Bulls do that changes what needs to happen this offseason. And that is a drastic overhaul. That's not a blow it up, not go rebuild. They need a retooling, and they need to balance out a lot of things on this roster. We have way too many guards on this roster. And I think that the front office is going to have to insulate this roster against Billy Donovan's propensity to go small ball. They're going to have to add some size. They're going to have to add some shooting. They're going to have to add some rim protection. We're going to have to add some things. And by that, it means, and like I said before, it's your fate. One of your favorite Chicago Bulls, more than likely, is not going to be back on the team. What's going on, Rap God Reload? He says, good evening, Haize. What's going on, fam? Glad to have you in the building. These instruments says, Haize, great perspective, man. I be rapping a little bit from time to time. You know what it is, man. You know what it is. Shy Bulls podcast says, "Hey man, get us to 3K subscribers now. Go over there and subscribe to Shy Bulls podcast. My brothers, the Cognac Boys, over there hitting on 3K, man." L says you light skinned. LOL. I know, man. This is from one light skin to another. People saying we barely won against one of the worst teams, but the NBA is more about matchups now. Rockets more athletic. Yeah, people who say that are people who don't actually watch basketball. People who say that are the people who watch box score more than they watch actual basketball games. And that's a problem. So, it is what it is there. Brandon Storball says, I would like to meet Pat Bev. Black Prophet, I really think Lonzo is soft. Oh, damn. We call Lonzo soft? Okay. I'm not getting into that one. What up, Haize? This season has been so disappointing and make it so hard to get excited when they win against a team we know they should beat. I mean, Real One DC, here's what I say. This season has been disappointing. And I said at one point this season, we believed in the losses more than we believed in the wins. And that was rightfully so because of how this team played. We're starting to come out of that. And this team is playing better. And they just need to keep it going. We just need to keep it going. And that's it. I still have my doubts on this Bulls team making the play-in tournament. I'll just be honest. But the way that they played these last 2 games and the way that they need to play over these next 6 games is gonna tell a lot. And I don't know how they're gonna perform. I have my doubts. I have my concerns. But when they play like this, when they play like they did against Denver, it helps erase some of those concerns. Ultimately, it just comes down to the Bulls and what level of heart they're going to play with for the remainder of the season. Because for the Bulls to have a considerable postseason run, they're going to have to be locked the hell in from now until the end of the season. They're going to have to play with a huge level of heart, and we'll see if they do that. Thoughts on signing Nas Reed to the MLE this offseason to be our 6th man to bring energy, size, and can do a little bit of everything. Here's what I'll say. I can't really answer that yet because it depends on this is the year where I can understand the Bulls splitting their MLE between multiple different players because of what we have to do this offseason. I'm not mad at Nas Reed if he is the signing of the Bulls do, but we still then we're going to have to trade quite a few players or work out signing trades for the players that we have that are free agents because we got some serious work to do. We got some serious work to do with this roster. Shout out to Rap God for supporting everything we do. Hey, listen, y'all make sure y'all go and support them Cognac Boys, fam. Gavin says, who do you think is better this season, DeRozan or LaVine? LaVine by far. And it especially how he's played post All-Star break. But really, like I said, LaVine has been playing much better since about mid-December. And DeMar just hasn't been the same DeMar. He just hasn't been. And that's okay, right? You should not be betting on a 33-year-old player to be the savior of your team when you have a 27-year-old max-level player. So there's not anything wrong with LaVine being better than DeMar. He should be better than DeMar at this point. He should be better for the team. He's a 3-level scorer. So we know what Zach can be when he's being efficient. And that is something that DeMar, while he can be efficient, he just can't score with ease the way that Zach LaVine does when LaVine's on. So I would say LaVine, but that's what the answer should be at this point. That's what it should be at this point. Shot Bulls Podcast. Shout out to Haize for leading the charge with the Central Network. Listen, we built a team, right? Here's what I'll say. The team that we have now is elite. When you look at the Cognac Boys, me, Big Kev, Steve-O, Ricky Fontaine, if he ever gets his head out of his ass and actually starts being a damn content creator he was meant to be, we got the best team, period. And that's what it is. And we're still looking for other people. We're still looking for somebody to cover the Blackhawks. Still looking for somebody to cover the Cubs and the White Sox. And so once we round out that team, listen, we unstoppable, fam. We unstoppable. That's what it is. Chi-Town for Life says, Haize, what are your thoughts on Kobe White? I feel like his defense is much better, but his offense is very inconsistent. Oh, yeah, I've been saying that all season. Kobe White has improved every part of his game other than the shooting. Everything. When you look at his decision-making, his dribbling, the defense, passing, he's better in all those aspects. The shooting has taken a dive. But because he's shown that ability to be a shooter and a scorer, I think that's going to eventually come back. And so if it is, if Kobe White maintains what he has added to his game this season and that shooting comes back around, we don't need Kobe to be an 18-point per game scorer. If Kobe White can be a consistent 13 to 14 points off the bench for the Chicago Bulls with his playmaking, with his defense, and everything else that he's shown, that's one of the better bench pieces in the league. We just need to see him do it, and if he even is going to still be here after the season. I didn't get to thank you on the last live, but I appreciate you making me a moderator. Chicago Bulls Central has truly become a family platform, and I always look forward to joining the live streams. That's from Omar. Thank you, bro. Here's what I say. Thank you for being in the comments. Thank you for being, funny as hell, because you funny as shit. So, yeah, just thank you for being a part of the platform, brother. We appreciate you. BL Jet, thank you for everything, bro. You know, Brandon L. Jet is a big supporter. Silk Ron in the building says, Pat Bev bringing the energy we need. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Judy says, I'd cover the Cubbies for you. Hit me in the email. Hit me in the email. The real Don P says, definitely interested in covering the baseball side of things. Hit me in the email. The email's in the description. Hit me in the email. Sort of off topic, but not surprisingly, Laurie has a good Laurie's not as good in the second half. So his all-star was whatever. Plus, he's doing nothing in Cleveland either, but Laurie won't make an all-star team again. I mean, here's what I'll say about Laurie. Confidence does wonders for a basketball player. I won't say that Laurie will never make another all-star team, but I think some people, it's been one season. Let's see how he does over 2-3 seasons if he really puts it together. But I'm rooting for Laurie. I'm rooting for Laurie. I want to see Laurie Markkanen be the best player that he can be. Do you think the Bulls could make the playoffs this year and I will be able to get a ring? No. Get a ring? A ring? We talking rings? We still fighting for a playing spot. Come on, fam. Shout out to my big bro, man. This man crazy as fuck. This summer is finna be wild, Bobby. Listen, hey, we putting in work, bro. And that's what I'll say. We are putting in work. And Chicago sports coverage is in good hands. And I mean that because we love the teams, we respect the teams, but there's not a lot of people covering the teams in the way and the manner in which we do it. And so, and building this network now is what it is. And, shout out to that. It's going to be amazing. And so we're going to keep building it out. We're going to keep performing. We're going to keep hearing from you guys. And we want you guys to be a part of it every step of the way. So we're taking over. We are taking over. And the way that I look at it is there's a lot of sports networks out there. There's a lot of bigger ones than us that we would never be able to match up with. But the passion, not many people can match the passion that we have for Chicago sports. So we're going to keep riding it out, man. That's it. All right, King Kofu says, yo, Haize, what do you think about Billy D's chances of coaching Texas next season? Rumor has it he's a top candidate. I haven't heard or seen anything like that, considering he just signed a contract extension. I would say that that's probably highly unlikely. That's just my opinion on it. Deshaun Fell says, I knew we were going to step it up in the fourth. We just need to stay consistent. Completely agree with you there, brother. Lester says, great job with the platform. Thank you, Lester. I appreciate that. I see race. What are we talking about racists for in the chat? What is happening out here? What is going on? Haize, don't forget about link up with the bigs. They'll cover all teams on location. Don't forget about link up with the bigs. Oh, okay. Well, hey, we'll rap about it. Roderick Johnson with the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel at that level, my brother. I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you. Hi, bro. How are you doing? This was a big win by the Bulls tonight, bro. Absolutely, Jimmy Sabrinsky. Glad to see you in the building as well. Stefan says, love the new intro. Well, that's only the intro music we play on wins. So we only play that one on wins. But shout out to Nice for making that. It's streaming on Spotify as well. Y'all go and check it out. The name of the track is See Red. Go check it out if you got Spotify. I think it's also on iTunes and Apple Music. So make sure you guys check it out. He's doing good shit over there. Good stat that Adam mentioned with 4 of the 5 starters had 5 assists or more tonight. Hey, that's actually a damn good dope ass stat. And I'm glad that the Bulls did it, man. Bulls taking care of business. I like that the Bulls are taking care of business, man. Down the stretch of this season. We just got to keep it going, man. They got to play with a lot of heart. Jimmy Sabrinsky says we're in the 10th seed now with this win tonight. Yep, and we need to keep playing this way to hold on to it. We cannot let our foot off the gas. We cannot let our foot off the gas. Who you think? Who you taking to go to the Bulls if you could get one person in the NBA? I get asked this question a lot. Right? There are 2. I'm going to give you 2 answers. Right? I'll say this. I'm high on Brandon Ingram, and I think Brandon Ingram on this team would kill. I think that it literally changes. If you were able to trade DeMar DeRozan and some other players, because it's not going to be DeMar straight up, for Brandon Ingram, you move Patrick Williams back to the 3. BI at that point, you're 4, who can stretch the floor, do some things, can be a point forward. I really like that team. And then I'll say this. I'll also say Bobby Portis, because I think Bobby Portis would be the perfect bench player for this team. Heart, defense, scoring, can play next to Vooch, can play next to P. Will as the center, could do a lot of things. I think Bobby Portis would also be a perfect player for this team as well. Black Prophet in the building says, Haize, here's my question of possible next season. Would you trade DeMar for Jimmy Butler, who is one of my favorite? Oh, bro, easily. And that's not even a shot at DeMar. I would trade Jimmy Butler for DeMar DeRozan and not even question it. Do you need me to drop him off at the UC? Because I got you. I would do that crazy in a second. But it's not going to happen. But I absolutely would do that. Email my boy. Look forward to rocking with the new B. So it's right now. It's called Chicago Sports Central, but we're going to change the name of it to Chi-Town Sports Central. I think that name is just more flash. Let me know what you guys think. Chicago Sports Central or Chi-Town Sports Central. I just think I just like the Chi-Town sports aspect of it a little bit better. But I got to get back to posting Bull Central, Bear Central, Sky Central over there consistently. The Cognac Boys got to get back to posting Shy Bulls podcast over there consistently, because we really do want to grow that platform. So. Jimmy Butler is definitely a different breed. Dude can't miss. I mean, he can miss. And he's had some rough things out there, but I would, as a two-way player, to take off some of that that defensive need from like Zach LaVine and ease that up. And he's a solid passer. He can score. He's not much more of a better three-point shooter than DeMar DeRozan, but I think he will take more of them. But yeah. Oh my God, yes, I hate that we lost Portis. Watching him play for the Bucks is painful. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Chi-Town has more flair. That's how I feel about it too. I know it might be unlikely, but if we can get Fred VanVleet and play Pat Bev off the bench, I think we would be set on a point guard position. I agree with you, but keep in mind, Fred VanVleet is, if he's a free agent this offseason, that means he opted out a contract that's $22 million. He's probably not going to take mid-level, exception level type money, which is all the Bulls would have to offer. So I would love VanVleet, but I don't know. I don't know if it's feasible. But hey, it's up to AK to work that out. Luckily, that's not on me to determine to make a way for that to happen. That is absolutely on our guys, AK and Eversley. See if they can do it, man. Are the Warriors winning? I have no idea. I'm doing this stream. I'm not looking at a game right now. One of the first times I didn't even know the Warriors were playing. Yeah, it looks like they're winning. They're up by 4 right now with 2 minutes left in overtime. So Brendan Stoball says Rockford dude, all Illinois natives should play for the Bulls that play in the NBA right now. I don't know how that I don't know how that'll work out, but hey, I'm surprised at how bad the baby Raptors are playing. Listen, bro. I thought that was going to be definitely a team that went on a run. Omar says, I don't think Bobby Portis would want to come back to Chicago. Listen to JJ Redick's podcast. He was on the. Oh, no, I agree. That's why it was a pie in the sky. That's what I said. It's probably not going to happen. I think that bridge is quite burned. I do also like how he said how the culture of the Bulls team at that point was there are a lot of players fighting, right? We all look back at Bobby Portis punching Nico Mirotic, but Bobby Portis on that podcast saying that was the culture of the Bulls at that time. There are a lot of fights going on. That's crazy. That's wild. The Cognac Boys are Chi-Town. You can come up with something else. What? No, what? They're not Chi-Town. They're Shy Bulls podcast. What are you talking about? It's completely different. What are you talking about, JDH? JDH, what do you be smoking, my brother? What do you be smoking, bro? He needed to be punched. He was a bum. Well, keep in mind, too, it came out that Nico was just somebody who it seemed like, because nobody defended Nico. It seemed like everybody was fed the fuck up with Nico Mirotic. So, hey, it is what it is there. Archangel in the building says, really hope we bring Pat Bev back and Drummond stays with us. Listen, I think Drummond's going to opt out. When you just look at Drummond, how he's been used or lack thereof, it just feels like Drummond's just like, hey, man, I can't wait for this season to be over with. I'm tired of this gum chewing ass dude, but we'll see. JDH smokes the same shit as Unc. That's funny. JDH be tripping, bro. Stay go bang says LaVine is playing great right now. I can't wait to see how he starts next season. This man has been averaging 30 plus since the All-Star break. LaVine been cooking, right? Zach LaVine has been cooking post All-Star break, and I hope that he finishes the season off strong. I hope he can go into the offseason and really just focus on things to add to his game and come out firing on all cylinders. You can tell he's no longer worried about the injury, and that goes a long way in how Zach LaVine has been playing. But when you look at it, like post All-Star break, Zach LaVine is averaging 30.7 points per game on 50% shooting from both over 50% from both the overall field goal and 3-point percentage. That's he's killing it right now. This is the Zach LaVine we thought we were getting when we gave him a max level contract. So we'll see. I believe the Pacers and Raptors hold the Bulls' fate for the play-in. They play better seemingly, and it is possible that those two teams will press harder and end up holding the Bulls at the 11th spot. I mean, it's possible, but the Bulls can also control it themselves by just keep winning, right? Just keep winning. To quote Dory from Finding Nemo, just keep winning. Just keep winning. That's all we need to do. Just keep winning. Hey, this is off topic, but oh man, I got a whole video on that. Go check that out, brother. Go over to NBA Central. We got that figured out. Zach has made a huge turnaround in this game as of late. He looks really good. Yeah, he's back to getting to the rim, not shying away from contact, all those things. All right, so this is off topic, but I'm tired of the Yorkers saying that their pizza is better than Chicago style. I went to NYC recently and was disappointed because New York style pizza tastes basic. Did you get a dollar slice? Where did you go? Because it really depends, and it depends on which borough you're in as well. It really does. It really does differ. New York pizza isn't all universal. When you go to different boroughs, it's different. I will say this. Generally, I like Chicago pizza better, but there are times where I just want a New York slice, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you. Triple B says, how likely is it that Chris Fleming gets a head coach job? He deserves one. Well, keep in mind, during the preseason poll, he was voted, I think, first or second as far as assistant coaches that GMs would think would do great as a head coach. It's coming at some point. It's definitely coming for him at some point. JD8 says, Zach is fully healthy for the first time in a minute. This is good. Yeah, and he's trusting his body. He's not seeming like he's worried about getting re-injured or anything. That definitely fixes some things. What do you think of the pairing Zach LaVine with Malcolm Brogdon or Derek Wright in the summer? We need a point guard since Lonzo will be out for a while. I still want to bring Pat Bev back, though. Actually, on my pre-recorded video today, the mailbag episode for today, I talk about point guard options. Malcolm Brogdon, I don't think they're letting him go. I think they're going to hold on to him. We'll see. We'll see. I didn't have them on my list. I think that there are better options out there. What up, Haize family? Next 9 games will determine the season, guys. I mean, yeah, especially when you look at, we got 15 games left. 9 games is over half of that. So, yeah, I mean, we went over the schedule. Hell, the next 6 may be what determines it for the Chicago Bulls, to be quite honest with you. The next 6 may be, we may not even make it to the next 9. We got Sacramento, Minnesota, Miami, Philly, and Portland in the next 6. That's going to be tough. That's going to tell a lot for the Chicago Bulls, man. Let's see what we need. Sean in the building says, Caruso, Kobe, or Io, who's more likely to leave in the offseason? Kobe. I'll say Kobe is the most likely out of that bunch to leave, but everyone is a possibility. Do you think we shop Caruso to try to get into the draft? It also would clear more money for us. I don't think so. I think if we shop Caruso, we're trying to bring in talent now, not necessarily draft another young player. I think we're going to try to bring in some players that we know that can contribute or in the spot right now. That's my personal opinion. I could absolutely be wrong on that, though. Evan Lick says, people be saying point guards they want and not realizing we don't got the money to go get them. Well, Evan, let me keep in mind, when we signed DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, we had no money technically. If you want to get a deal done, you can't keep. The Bulls will have their $10 million mid-level exception. They can also add $13 million to that if they play their contracts right. They then, on top of that, if they do end up filing for a designated player exception for Lonzo, they can get another $10 million exception to use. But it's not even just that. When we signed DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball, we had no cap space. We organized sign-in trades. So it's always a possibility to get that done, right? It just depends on how motivated is the other team to facilitate that deal with you. But the Bulls can go after free agents. There's absolutely a possibility of that happening this offseason. Cortez in the building says, what up, my guy? Bulls Nation, let's go. That's funny. That is hilarious. Glad to have you in the building, though, bro. Glad to have you. Glad to get this dub. Layla in the building. It's my first time seeing you. I just cheered there. We're in New York? Or are we talking about somewhere else? We've been having a lot of conversations about a lot of players, a lot of places during this post-game show. So we'll see. Whatever you mean by that. Evan Lick says, well, damn, you may be the only person I know that knows how the NBA salary cap works. So this isn't to boast. When I decided I was going to do Chicago Bulls Central, I read the CBA, the whole entire CBA, and I took notes. And so it's not like I have everything where it's easily recallable, but I do have notes on it. So, I mean, there's always some flexibility with that. And the NBA salary cap is a very weird thing. So, I mean, there's a possibility. It will take some work, and it will take a team to be interested in what you have to offer. But the Bulls can make some things happen if they choose to. And the big homie says, at the end of the day, Marco may be what we need, or he may be a bust, but bro, they have to play him to see what we have in him. Agreed. Like, Marco is not going to gain anything left from the G League. You have to see what you have in Marko Simonovic by giving the kid an opportunity and chance in the actual NBA. There are players that are worse defensively than Marko Simonovic that still get minutes, but they don't have the scoring upside or the rebounding upside of a Marko Simonovic. Let's see what we got in the kid, man. Let's see what we got in him. Spicy Butter in the building says, little bro, Bulls look good. Coaching scares me. Hey, bro, I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. Coaching absolutely has some concerns for me. Like, I would be lying if I didn't say it, but, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I do like the way that Billy Donovan has been coaching up the defense. I do like Billy Donovan's defensive schemes the last 3 or 4 games here, even in some losses. He's had some pretty solid schemes. I don't think that he comes in with solid schemes. He doesn't necessarily adjust in a way that it keeps that up once teams adjust to what he's doing. But nobody's perfect. He damn sure isn't. He damn sure isn't. 2025 Bulls, Chris Fleming head coach, Lonzo Ball assistant coach. He owes. God damn. That is hilarious. That is funny. Crazy Me says, agreed. I don't know which one you're agreeing to, but I'm glad that whatever I said, I'm glad you agree with it. Oh, man. Black Prophet says, all right, Haize, you can only keep 2 of the 4. Who would you keep? Kobe, Ayo, Pat Bev, or Javonte Green? Pat Bev for sure. I'm going to say Kobe. Even though we don't have a Kobe on this. We don't have Kobe cheese, but we do have a Kobe White, and I'll say Kobe. That's tough, though. That man, it really depends on what the rest of the roster looks like, in my opinion. We have game back of Toronto, too, and only 1 game back of the Hawks. Yeah, I mean, the Bulls can technically have a nice run. Like, they have the capability of going up. I just don't know if they're going to. Pat Bev was strangling Billy's arm, pulling him around near the end of the game. That's funny. I'm glad we resigned Justin Lewis. I seriously wanted to see him play this season. Sucks he got hurt. Yeah, but the Bulls have maintained being invested in him for sure. So, if you could, would you trade Kobe for D? Hell no. No. I love D Rose, and I want to see him be back in the Bulls uniform at some point. But I don't want to see any more vanity shit. Like, we need to improve this roster drastically before we worry about the vanity shit. Like, signing Derrick Rose is a vanity project. That's something that looks good. We'll sell some jerseys, and we'll feel good to see him back in the Bulls jersey. But it doesn't really add much to winning. So I need us to take care of the other things first. We can worry about the rest later. Triple B says, is Wu out for the season? Listen, it's looking that way, man. He's supposed to be reevaluated in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but we only got like 3 weeks left in the season. I don't think he's coming back. I just don't. Yo, Haize, do you ever go home opening nights? Well, I will be the opener for the Chicago Sky. I'll be there. The home opener for the Sky this year. I'll be there. Now that I do this, it's been more difficult to go to Bulls games, only because the way that I look at it is that now if I go to a Bulls game, I'm technically taking away from the channel because I can't do a post-game show in that case. I don't know, man. I want to go to more games next year, but that's part of the reason why Steve-O is here, because I am going to go to more things, and Steve-O will step in for me. So. Haize, what's your opinion on the Bulls training staff? Why do players so injury prone? Well, keep in mind, and I think sometimes people forget that the Chicago Bulls training team, medical staff, they don't do surgeries, they don't diagnose, they don't come up with recovery plans. Those are outside doctors. Now, as far as the training staff, which is different, I don't think that training staff can really avoid the injuries that we've seen. Like, there's not much that you can do to avoid knee injuries by training. Like, it's a freak thing. It sucks. We suck. We don't suck. It sucks that we've seen as many injuries as what we have. Agree wholeheartedly with JDH here. D Rose is nostalgia. That's it. Yeah. Kobe White is a better player than D Rose right now. I would keep Jay Green and Kobe. I like Green's versatility and his hustle. I would keep Kobe because he has improved each year he's been in the league. He's improved things of his game. There's still some other things, man. But all right, y'all, that's it for the live stream for today, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, especially on your weekend, and supporting the channel as we are continuing to grow. Thanks for getting us to 11Ks. We're going to continue to grow the platform, but let's go ahead and do this officially. Make sure you guys follow the show at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform. You can also send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, to do so, 773-270-2799. Keep in mind, tomorrow is a mailbag day. So if you want to get in any mailbag questions to ride out with after this game or anything else surrounding the Chicago Bulls, call or text that number so you can get in and be included in the mailbag episode. But that is it for today. I love you guys, man. Go Bulls. See Red, man. I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. You're the best part of this channel. I'm out, y'all. Peace. Let's go ahead and play. Let's play the winning outro as well. Wait a second. Did somebody delete my outro? No. Bam. We out this mug. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.